Am I using a strategy, based on what's going on economically that makes sense?
Welcome to the 5 Questions podcast, where we unlock real estate and business insights one question at a time. We are here at the Expand conference. Once again, I have another very special guest, Amy Kim. Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions. But first, I'd like to ask you, I've been seeing you at a lot of conferences. Why do you take the time to come at conferences like Expand? Why do you do that as a real estate investor?
Okay, there's a couple of reasons here. That first of all, I noticed with the current market, some cities in Toronto or BC, a lot of people are struggling finding good projects to invest their monies, because I understand that it used to be a really good market, but now it's not performing as much as it used to be, and now people are eager to find a good project. So I'm from Edmonton, and Edmonton is the hottest market right now across Canada, right? We have so many good things happening, and strong economy, and a growth population growth as well. So there are many people coming in, and I'm here. I would like to help people that we have so many good projects, and we can actually help them grow their wealth faster. So why not come here and then share the knowledge that I know, and then we can help each other, right? I have so many good projects, but we need to raise funds for that too.
So you come here to share your knowledge, find potential partnerships, find maybe money partners. So you find that all in one spot at great conferences, and it helps you in your real estate journey.
Excellent, excellent, yes, exactly.
Other question for you. I know you've been working on a big project right now, 32 or 36 units?
32 units.
32 units,
yes.
In Edmonton. And I'd like for you maybe to explain to us or to me, when you start a project of that amplitude, land development specifically, what kind of implication, what should a real estate person, how do you start? Where do you start? Because this is a big project. You're not buying a 32-unit apartment that's already built. You're dividing land. You're working with the city. Where do people start?
Great question. Yes, so I didn't start building 32 units from the beginning. So it has been more than almost five years since I became a full-time investor. And my first project was pretty humble. I started with the one small bungalow, single family, and I renovated upstairs and downstairs. That's how it started. It was about $250,000. That was the price that I purchased, right? So, and then after that, I learned something that I like about the project, but there's something that I didn't like about the project. And using the background as a former IT professional, every time I love perfecting my projects and systems. So every time I learn something from the previous projects, and then I have been evolved through multiple years. So I start from one single family, and then I did two upstairs, and then the legal basement suite. And I did more of this, like 2 to 2 units, and then I did 4, and then I converted 2 to 4, and then converted another 4 to 8. So I've been evolved that way, right?
So it's the snowball effect. You started smaller, and then you upgraded, and now you're land developing 32 units. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's how I got it there.
Well, Amy, thank you so much for taking the time to answer some questions today, and I really look forward to partying with you tonight at the gala.
Yes, I'm so looking forward to it too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mario, and having me on your podcast. I've been watching your podcast, and I love what you're doing. And you have such a big heart, and I always admire you. So yeah, I would love to keep watching you, how your business is growing and booming.
Thank you so much.
And let's grow together.
Let's grow together.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, we are here today at the Expand Conference, and our special guest today on the 5 Questions podcast, Shaneka Shaw Taylor. And she is a litigation lawyer specializing for real estate investors. Shaneka, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show today. How do you think about Expand so far?
Well, thanks for having me. I love coming to Expand. I've been coming for the last year and a half now. It's just really good to be in a room of like-minded people who are interested in real estate investing, who are in the trenches. And yeah, it's good to be here.
Absolutely. So you are a litigation lawyer specializing in real estate.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you maybe some free advice. You're not going to charge me, right?
Not going to charge you, but anything that I say, do not rely on. It's just general information, not legal advice.
All right. So, people like to learn from other people's mistakes.
Of course.
What is, according to you, the number one mistake that people make when it comes to real estate and maybe to avoid going into litigation with other people?
I'd say the number one mistake is not doing enough due diligence. Relying on social media, relying on the facade that people have about how well they're doing and how well they have done, and not doing enough homework to see, okay, what deals have they done? How successful has this person been? What mistakes have they made and what have they learned from those mistakes? So definitely the number one is not doing enough due diligence on the people that you're partnering with, not doing enough due diligence on the deals that you're getting involved in. And if you are a passive investor, not doing enough due diligence on the exit strategy to getting your money back.
Okay, so due diligence, definitely a must.
Yeah.
What about contracts? How much contracts or how many contracts should people have in place, or any at all for that matter, should people have before they get into a deal with someone else?
So it really depends on the type of transaction. So if we are talking about a joint venture partnership, for example, you certainly want to have a joint venture agreement in place. And please, don't go on the internet and pull precedents or samples of joint venture contracts, because not all contracts are the same and they're not all cookie cutter, right?
Right.
You really have to take it to a lawyer that specializes in real estate investment and talk about, well, what are you trying to accomplish in this particular venture, and are you covering all your bases for that particular contract?
Right.
There may be things that you find online that are not relevant to your particular situation. And there may be things that are important for you to have in your contract that you don't have, right? So it's really important to get the proper legal advice from a real estate focused investor, lawyer, to help you navigate and create the appropriate contract for you.
That's some great advice. And where could people reach you if they want to work with you or have you look maybe at over their contract to make sure they're all in order? How
Absolutely.
can people reach you?
So they can reach me by telephone, 416-628-9830, extension 100, or by email at shaneka@taylorlitigation.ca. It's always best to just go to our website that has all our contact information, and it's taylorlitigation.ca. So taylorlitigation.ca.
Shaneka, thank you so much for taking your time to answer our questions today. It was a pleasure to have you. And
Absolutely.
guys, don't hesitate. Reach out to Shaneka because we all need legal advice.
Yes, you do. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Well, we are here again with another guest at Expand, and I am here with Catalina. Catalina, is so nice for you to take the time to answer some questions with us today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm excited to answer some questions and to be here with you.
So, you were telling me that you're starting in real estate.
Yeah,
right?
so I started about a year ago.
Okay.
I started with a youth program, so that we're doing real estate. And now I transferred to Wealth Genius. And ever since I bought my first property, and I've been learning. It's just been 2 or 3 months since I bought my first property.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, first question for you. What inspired you to start investing in real estate?
Security.
Security?
Yeah,
Can you
and freedom.
elaborate a little bit?
Yes. So I immigrated to Canada from Colombia when I was 16 years old. So I learned I had to work to make a living, and so I learned about how unstable it can be to just rely on a job. So to me, investing makes sense, and to me, the what makes sense in investing was real estate, because
Right.
something you can feel.
Yeah.
It's there, you know, it's there.
Yeah.
You have your house, you have your property, and it's just a numbers game.
More stable.
Yeah, it's more stable.
And so you said you bought your first property. What was your first property?
My first property is a duplex.
Okay.
So I'm doing some renovations right now, getting to know contractors, screening tenants. So just starting small, so just so I learn. And I've been doing some wholesaling on the side as well.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah, my main market is Nova Scotia. So that's where I'm at right now.
That's good. And so you have your first property, your duplex. You're getting to learn how to work with contractors. You're doing wholesale. That seems like not a beginner to me. You seem like you're starting to do a lot. So let me
Yeah.
ask you, what would be your next step? What do you foresee in the future that you'd like to do with real estate?
I would like to keep wholesaling because that's a great way to find off-market deals, even for myself. And I also like to expand. I'm here at expand, gotta expand, right?
Absolutely. Well, Catalina, thank you so much for answering some questions
Thank you so much
with
for having
us
me.
today. And let's go back because there's a lot of noise back there. So I think there's something
Gotta
good
go back,
going on.
yeah.
All right, thank
Woo!
you so much.
Thank you.
Well, another guest from the 5 Questions podcast, but we are here at Expand this weekend, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Patrick Francey. Patrick, again, welcome to the show, but this time live in person.
Live in person. We're here.
So we're at Expand learning about real estate, different strategies, different tricks from our lawyers, accountants. We have the whole gang here. But you're an expert. You've been investing for over 40 years in real estate. Why do you think that going to these events is important in the journey as a real estate investor? Why should everybody come to these conferences?
Well, I think the primary reason that these conferences are really good to attend and smart to attend is if you're an investor, you're always looking, number one, for contacts. You know, you're looking to network, meet other individuals, but also when you're having conversations, you pick up on those little nuances of perhaps some strategies, some tactics that somebody's using that you never thought to use. You know, for me, for example, I deliver what's going on economically, and we look at the economic fundamentals of what drives real estate. And then you consider that when you're building your own model, if you will, so that when you're building your portfolio, you're asking yourself the right questions. Am I cash flowing? Am I using a strategy, you know, based on what's going on economically that makes sense? And so attending these conferences is really about expanding your network. You know, there is that meme, you know, or that quote that your net worth is, you know, a reflection of your net work. And, you know, when you start to get to know people, you expand, you build off a team, you have resources, you can ask others who have gone on the path before you. And then, so this is an opportunity to actually meet, read body language, see people, shake hands, you know, do all the things that you do in these kind of scenarios. But ultimately, it's really about expanding your network and also picking up all of the kind of nuances that you learn from other people. But of course, in an event like this, you're listening to some experts on stage.
Oh, we got a lot of noise going back in the background. I think they're getting started to have another speaker on stage, but that's really good advice. Now, I'd like to ask you, because you're more on the technical side, where you analyze numbers. What do you think of the new cuts that the government did this past week on the rates?
On the interest rates, I mean, we have to look at, say, well, why are they cutting rates? You know, of course, as a real estate investor, you know, you go, cool, oh, finally, you know, maybe things will cash flow, things are great. And that's true. But you have to consider, why is it that the Bank of Canada will lower interest rates? And so, you know, originally they raised rates. Why? Because they wanted to get inflation under control. They wanted to actually slow the economy down. So keep in mind is the Bank of Canada can't actually control inflation. What they're controlling is spending, which drives inflation. So it's a little subtle nuance, but these are the important understanding of it. So when you look at the Bank of Canada and they do a 50 basis point cut, that's a significant cut. And so it's because when they look into the future, they're going, this economy is slowing down a little too much, a little too fast. And so that would be considered an emergency cut. So for us as investors, we look at it, go, great, some affordability, some cash flow, that's awesome. But we also have to consider that the economy is starting to slow down. We'll be at the effect of that as investors.
Patrick, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and we're going to have a great weekend.
We are.
Getting ready for the gala tonight, but thanks again for taking the time to answer some questions on our show today. So
awesome.
Thanks for tuning in to the 5 Questions podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell on our YouTube channel so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned for more insights and tips to transform your real estate and business game. See you next time.